This is the Patriots Drive Podcast.
We are all Patriots.
Where we discuss, analyze, and answer questions to all things happening in the NFL and with our New England Patriots. Now, here's your host, Cole Kelly.
Let's go!
What is going on, everybody, and welcome into the Patriots Drive podcast. Of course, here with a special guest, Carlos from Los Talks Pats. Man, it's Drake Maye Day. It is finally his time to start. He gets the call. It's going to be against Houston. It's going to be a fun one here in just a couple hours. But start off, how you doing, Cole and Carlos? How you guys doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm excited. Like you said, it's been long awaited. We're finally here. Now it's just, the countdown to game time. So I'm ready to see that first opening kickoff, and it's the Drake Maye era.
Yeah, super pumped, super excited. Like I was telling you guys off air, just getting the news that he was starting, and it was kind of trending that way, and you were starting to see the reports leak out with Rappaport and Schefter and stuff. It was like, is this going to be the time? And then on top of that, just the red throwbacks for his first start is pretty sick. I know some people don't care about that, but I do. I love those jerseys. So yeah, just super excited. I just hope he stays healthy. I hope he can just get through the lumps of your first few games as a rookie, and it's not going to be perfect. So nobody should expect him to look like prime Tom Brady or like any of these guys. It's not his game. He's going to take some time to get into the flow of things, and just give him some patience, and it's going to be exciting. So hopefully we see some flashes today.
Super excited. And guys, before we get into some of our things, us three are doing a Drake Maye Jersey giveaway. If you're on Carlos's Twitter watching this, hop over to the YouTube. We'll share the link with Carlos too. There's a Google form. We actually just put it in the comments too if you want to fill that out. All you have to do is subscribe to us on YouTube, subscribe to or follow Carlos on Twitter, and then follow us on Instagram. And then you have to guess how many touchdowns Drake Maye is going to throw next week versus the Jaguars. We're going to give this a week. If you guess correctly, you'll be entered in. We'll get your size from you. We'll get all that. We'll let you guys fill out the information that we need, and we'll order you guys a Drake Maye jersey. So we are going to be giving one away. So make sure if you guys are interested in that, you guys hop on over to the YouTube, click the link in the description. It should be a Google form or the one that is in the comment section. You guys can go ahead and enter into that. But I'll keep this up here. Let's start off with you, Carlos. What's the number one thing you're excited to watch about Drake Maye today, or the thing you're looking for the most?
I would say the main thing is just, and it might sound like niche, and it's not something that you could really like. It's pretty much like an eye test, but just like the arm strength. I'd really want to see like an NFL arm. I'm not saying Jacoby had like a weak arm, but there were some throws that he refused to squeeze it into tight windows or take that gamble and make like a anticipation throw, for example. That's what I'm excited to see from Drake Maye. I hope that we see that today. I really hope he shows off his arm talent. Everyone always alludes to that one throw against the Commanders in the preseason with KJ Osborne down the field. He rolled out of the pocket, threw it like 40 yards downfield, something like that. I want to see some sort of resemblance of an elite NFL arm, because we haven't been able to see that in about like 5-6 years now as Patriots fans. So I really want to see that. I want to see the person under center for the Patriots being able to make all the NFL throws and then some.
Yeah, Mac Jones and Cam Newton are not really big NFL arm guys at the past few years. So I'd say I'm just like you said, the arm strength and making some big NFL throws. Did you guys? I don't know if you guys saw this. The scout that rated Jacoby and Drake Maye and had Jacoby with a better arm than Maye, which was wild. But yeah, that, and then just the mobility, like you're already seeing in some of the warm-ups, like some of the team personnel guys are saying that you're seeing him on the run a lot, making a lot of throws on the run. And maybe that's getting him ready to run for his life, or maybe it's just some design scheme to get his legs involved and just use that mobility along with that arm strength. And that's what makes him special, is his ability to extend plays and use that arm and also use his legs. So I think just a combination of that is going to be really exciting, and it's going to add some type of flair to this offense that we haven't seen at all with Jacoby so far.
Well, and the other thing about it too is I'm excited to see some pocket presence and some movement. Like, not that Drake Maye at first couldn't move in the pocket, but he couldn't take off and run. You saw this in the preseason. Drake Maye is going to be able to step up in the pocket. He's going to be able to run and make some guys miss. He probably is going to be dealing with a ton of pressure. He's going to have to make a lot of dudes miss, or he's going to have to make things happen, extending the play, throwing on the run, or things like that. So I'm excited to see that. Hopefully the offensive line holds up a little bit. I don't want to be witnessing a murder on live television of our rookie quarterback in his first start, but the Texans are really good at getting to the passer. One thing that I found interesting on this guy that kind of studies NFL defenses that I follow. The Patriots have faced the most cover 1 and cover 0 over any teams in the NFL, which means teams aren't afraid of their receivers. They're trying to put one extra guy in the box to stop Ramondre and the run game. They're really challenging these quarterbacks. And then the other thing that I was looking at is how that the Texans are top 10 in pressure rate and top 10 in sack rate this season, whether they're bringing pressure or just getting to you with 4 guys. Drake Maye's probably going to have pressure in his face, especially with how the offensive line is shaping out to be today. So those are going to be 2 important things. How does he handle pressure? I know that someone tweeted out that he was really good in the blitz segment. And so we'll see how that turns out into a pregame, and hopefully it turns into, because if you are getting the ball out in time with pressure, you have chance to make one guy miss as a receiver and take it for a long gain because, you're in man coverage. There's not other eyes on you. So there could be a lot of really big games if he's on. There could also be a lot of, sacks and incomplete passes. So we'll see how it is. Hopefully it's the first one.
Yeah, one thing I was just going to touch on was just real quick was our receivers aren't the best, obviously. So extending plays and kind of that playground mentality can sometimes help create some of those big plays you were talking about. And so hopefully a couple of those will end up being in our favor and can help the receivers out and some of those other guys and get us a couple chunk plays with this offense.
Yeah, I mean, Vidarian Lowe also talked about it too on the Patriots All Access segment. I know a lot of people were clowning him, pretty much saying like he was excited to have Drake Maye because they have someone that can escape sacks.
Yeah,
So it was kind of like a weird,
like,
yeah, it was like a weird way that he described it, but it is true if you really think about it. Like it gives the offensive line a bit more room for error, even though we don't want that. We don't want Drake Maye running around. We don't want his like internal clock to be sped up, but that is the real, like, that's like the outcome of their offensive line play. So if Drake Maye can make those playground throws and, run around the field, make plays with his arms, make plays with his legs, everyone on the Patriots always talks about how athletic he is. So that's something that I really hope to see today. Just like people say he's really fast. We saw that speed on that, like, it was like a 3rd and 16, I think, during the preseason when he got that first down. He scrambled for it. Just something along those lines that I guess you could say keeps the offensive line at bay. Like they won't have to be as important as we obviously know they need to be, but just Drake Maye can improve their play, even though it's not going to necessarily be like like a genuine improvement from the offensive line.
Yeah, the offensive line is not going to, I mean, they came out with the injury report or, the inactives today. We talked about this earlier, is Layden Robinson, which is kind of an interesting situation going on there. We obviously know that the whole offensive line has been shooken up multiple times of the week or throughout the season and stuff. And it's been 4 different starting left tackles. And so we'll see who it is there. So we'll see how this works out. I mean, this is going to be a huge test for Drake Maye week 1. You're going up against an offense in the Texans that is going to put up points. And our defense has not been able to stop too many people when it comes down to it. Although I think our offense has been so bad because they get like 30 less plays than our defense has to face. They also have to have like 10 or 15 minutes less time of possession. So our defense has been gassed out there. So extending drives, maybe making it a little bit easier for our defensive guys to get a stop, come off the field, actually be able to, look at what they've been doing through the iPads, whatever, the Microsoft tablets they use. And then also to get some water, get some breather, because it's not very fun to, hey, we stopped them here. Our offense just went 3 and out. Oh, we stopped them again. Our offense just went 3 and out. Even if they're not scoring, but they're going on 8-9 play drives, you're going to triple their plays throughout halftime. You're going to be way more gassed. So hopefully Drake Maye brings some life. And I think he has. Cole, we've heard all the reports, right? He seems like a lot of people are now a little more excited to be playing in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Mayo talked about the energy in the room being different this week and people running back to the huddle a little quicker and getting ready for the next play. So I think that just that added life and that's the spark that you're hoping for. Now, it's versus a 4-1 Texans team that has deep playoff aspirations. So it's like, we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, you just want to see the guys playing with good effort and see some flashes of what the future could look like with Drake Maye in this offense. But just to kind of touch on the defense, like you mentioned, the other part of that, of them being on the field so long, is the lack of depth at this point. You got Kyle Duggar, Jabril Peppers, Barmore, Judon obviously got traded. There's a lot of injuries on this team that is testing the depth. And if some of those depth guys are just gassed, then you're getting down to your third, fourth string guys, the end of the roster players having to step in and try to make plays against an offense that's really solid. So I know having Nico Collins out is one good thing for our defense, but they still have Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell. I know he hasn't been the same so far this year, but they got weapons on that team and they're going to be good regardless. It seems like Mixon's back as well. So that's another thing added to that run game. He was the NFL's rushing leader before he got hurt. So just a lot of different things that they can do to you offensively. And we'll see if our offense can stay on the field long enough to try to give some of those guys a breathers, because it's definitely been needed. They have been on the field a ton the first month and a half of the season.
Yeah. They've just been getting killed. So go ahead, Carlos.
I was just going to mention, like, obviously we want to stay on the field. We have a big person missing on the offensive side of the ball today with Ramondre Stevenson out. So that's going to throw a wrench into things as far as them being able to run the ball just down the Texans' throats. Obviously, the Texans have a really good run defense, and Ramondre would have helped with that. But having someone like Antonio Gibson, obviously it is somewhat of a downgrade. I'm not going to make it seem like he's some random running back they just signed off the street and that, he can't perform well, but he has shown flashes. He's done well in like the small opportunities that he's gotten throughout the season. But it is like a big loss for the Patriots to not have Ramondre out there, especially for Drake Maye's first start. We'll see how the running game can shape out. Obviously, they just elevated Terrell Jennings. Maybe he gets some touches. We'll see about that. I'm surprised they didn't elevate Kevin Harris over him. Not that it really matters, because JaMychal Hasty is going to be the second one behind them, most likely. So I think the running game is going to help them be on the field. We'll see how successful they are at that. Like last week, they ran the ball successfully. Then they decided to throw like the most they like as much as possible. Like, it makes no sense. So yeah. We'll see how that goes. But realistically, they should be running the ball a lot today.
Yeah, just real quick. Like you kind of mentioned with Kevin Harris not being elevated, that would have been kind of the thunder and lightning, how Mondre's been more of the power back. I mean, Ramondre seems like he can kind of do it all, but he's more of that big physical runner like a Kevin Harris would be. And the other thing, I think it was Taylor Kyles had mentioned the other day, he said if the Pats don't run the ball 30 times against this Texans, he's going to be pissed. So that's just one thing. Having Ramondre not be there, that's going to impact, like you said, the run game and potentially the game plan with Drake Maye back there. But he shouldn't be dropping back, throwing it 50, 60 times this game. That's just asking for disaster for a rookie, your first time out against this pass rush. So hopefully the run game can have some success, and we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, for sure. So Dennis said that he can't join the giveaway. Guys, I'm working on it, so keep trying. It's on a Google form, so I'm just trying to figure out what settings I need to turn off. So let me but again, if you guys are late joining us, if you guys are on Twitter, jump on over to YouTube or use the link that Carlos shared on his Twitter. If you guys fill out that form, you'll be able to enter into a Drake Maye jersey giveaway. We're going to give it away next week. All you have to do is do a couple steps and then guess how many touchdowns Drake Maye will throw for against the Jaguars. So I'll make sure to figure that out before the stream is over and let you guys know. They're just weird settings on Google Forms. I probably just had one clicked on and stuff. So, but anyways, let's talk about the receiver situation, right? Javon Baker and Tyquan Thornton are both inactive today. Demario Douglas and Jalen Polk have been creating separation, and there's been opportunities for Jacoby Brissett to hit him. Hopefully Drake Maye can find guys like that. So who do you think benefits the most from having Drake Maye back at quarterback? We'll start with you, Carlos.
By far, I'm gonna go with Demario Douglas just because, and I honestly think Jalen Polk has like a better like NFL body. Obviously, like he's much more capable of receiving a lot of targets throughout the game. But the thing is, Jacoby Brissett just hated throwing to Pop Douglas for some reason. I don't understand why he said like, "Oh, it's a shorter receiver. Like I gotta get used to him." That makes no sense. In all honesty, Drake May has come out and said, "Oh, he's like my Josh Downs. Like I see him exactly how I saw Josh Downs when I was at North Carolina." So I'm gonna go with Douglas just because it's easier to scheme up touches for him. He's closer to the line of scrimmage. That could be like there's his safety valve, and he gets open. So I don't see how like what more Douglas needs to do in order to be involved, and especially with someone that trusts him and is able to throw to short receivers for some reason. I guess that's like a thing now. I guess that's why I'm gonna go with Douglas. I think Douglas is gonna be the biggest beneficiary.
Yeah, I think that's the right answer too. Just you saw him target Pop a few different times in that Washington game for some big plays. You saw him on that one drive um, versus the Jets, same thing. So I definitely think that's a factor. I think I just want to touch on Jalen Polk because he's a guy that has been making a couple of those contested catches downfield. He hasn't been spectacular, but he made a couple really nice grabs, like that one that he caught against the Niners that was ruled incomplete. I still think he caught it, but whatever. Um, Stuff like that is something that Drake May is going to be more willing to throw. I think go to those deep shots down the field, give him a chance at a 50-50 ball. That's kind of some of the things that he was good at in college is making some of those tough catches. He wasn't necessarily the biggest separator always, but he was always somebody who had sure hands and could go catch the football. So that's one thing. And then Hunter Henry has been kind of invisible the past month. And a tight end is always a good safety blanket as well. So I think he'll hopefully be more involved.
I'm really looking forward to Jalen Polk just because that rookie connection, right? I mean, I'm not saying because they went to a Bruins game that they're going to have this connection, but they seem like they've been, working extra together through camp, through the preseason. And I think Jalen Polk's had a bunch of really good opportunities. He had the touchdown earlier in the year and things like that. So I'm excited to see how Jalen Polk works. I wish we could see Javon Baker. I don't know where that situation's going. I don't know what he's going to be doing. The other one to look at, didn't really get involved last week. Kendrick Bourne, he's back. He's now played a week. Let's see how he works. Now he has a quarterback that can deliver him the ball. And we all know when he is healthy, Kendrick Bourne, that he is a very good option over the middle. He's tough. He's sure-handed. So I really think everyone's going to benefit. I mean, I don't know if there's probably going to be, like you mentioned, Demario Douglas is the easy one for me because he seems like he's the best receiver on this team right now. So if Drake Maye can find him early and often, consistently, if he's dealing with pressure, he's probably going to be open early in his routes, or he's going to be able to create some separation. But then Jalen Polk's been great at making contested catches. If May needs to get rid of it, he needs to throw it up there. You might have an opportunity to throw it up and have Jalen Polk make a play. So I'm really excited to see all of these guys kind of have a little bit of a boost. Hunter Henry sounded so excited when he was talking about playing with Drake Maye. Had this like huge grin on his face. Like, yeah, it was like a kid before Christmas. Like you're like, holy crap, you've been in the league for how many years and you're this excited to play? So the team is starting to buy in a little bit. And I think that they're going to come out and be ready to fight. And maybe the defense has a little bit of renewed injury or energy. I know that someone was talking about they're excited to see Mapu, it was old man Mob. He said, I'm keeping my eyes out for Mapu. He did good last week. With all the injuries, yeah, you need someone to step up. And maybe the defense as a whole is kind of having a little bit of a renewed sense of energy. And they're like, hey, let's go. We have this quarterback in here. Let's see what he can do. If we come out and score early and maybe it's a close game, defense might be like, hey, let's go. We can play for this guy. We can win this game and, pull off a big upset against the Texans. So it's going to be fun. I'm excited to watch Drake Maye out there. But let's just go to the game in general. We'll start with you, Carlos. Are there any other storylines we're just looking at in general other than obviously Drake Maye? He's the big one. He's going to headline it. What are maybe some other keys to the game or things like that?
I feel like this should be on everyone's mind. This should be like something that people just key in on while watching the game, whether it's in person or on the broadcast. Gonzo lining up against Stephon Diggs.
That was
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see that matchup. Like Alex Barth has been harping on it throughout the entire week. Like Stephon Diggs he's had the Patriots number for years now, and it's like it's tough for them to stop him. For some reason, he just he always has a good game against them, even if it's not like a superstar like stat line, but he's always been able to beat them. Like that's like the best way to describe it. And this time we have Christian Gonzalez. So we'll see how he matches up with him. Mike Pellegrino was very complimentary of him during the week. So they're definitely talking about him, and rightfully so. And now he's their number one receiver for this week with Nico Collins out. So this is all on Gonzo to see, this is another superstar wide receiver for him to match up with. And I believe in him. I know. I'm excited to post that final stat line post game of like 1 catch, 11 yards. I'm excited for that.
I always look forward to your tweets. I always wait for them to see the final stat line of what it is after the game, because sometimes you're like, especially that Miami game, you didn't see Hill at all, but then later in the game it was like a couple catches and Gonzo was in the area, and I was like, that might add to the stat line a little bit. But then you go look at it afterwards, and I mean, the amount he was covering him, and then the respect that Hill has for Gonzo after tweeting top 3, like upcoming corner in the league for sure. Like, just a lot of respect being thrown his way. And that breakdown from Pellegrino was really, really cool to see. Just some of the technique stuff on that interception against OBJ. So yeah, that was going to be mine as well. He pretty much just echoing what you said. He's given the Patriots a lot of trouble. Is Gonzo the guy who can finally be that dig stopper? And he's not in the division anymore, so you don't need it as much. But just having a guy who can shut down that whoever the number 1 receiver on the other team is so valuable. So Christian Gonzalez is starting to make himself look like a top 5 corner in the league every week. He's just proving it more and more. So I hope he continues to grow in that role, because it's so valuable to a defense like this.
And I think the one thing that I'm looking for, other than, obviously the things that you guys said, is can we get pressure on CJ Stroud? Because CJ Stroud is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. If you can give him time, I mean, I love Christian Gonzalez. I love our secondary, right? But these are good receivers. Stephon Diggs is a really good receiver. He's a veteran. CJ Stroud can throw it to anywhere on the field with really good accuracy. He can also move in the pocket. So how do we get pressure on him? How do we make him uncomfortable? How do we make it so that he can't just get to what he wants every single time? So tying into the defense, that's going to be a huge part, right? Obviously, the Texans are going to put up points. And I think that that's why it's so exciting that Drake Maye is starting finally, is because you have this sense that, hey, maybe we can put up some points now, right? We haven't been seeing it with Jacoby. Maybe we can put up 28, maybe 30. Who knows? That would be a miracle. Maybe we can somehow get to 30 points and our defense can play good enough and we can win 30-27 or, 27-24, something like that. Maybe we can put up enough to hang with these guys and the defense can play well enough, unlike the last couple of weeks where they've, seemed to give up the big drive when they needed to stop them and things like that. So that's what I'm looking for. How do we just make CJ Stroud uncomfortable? He's the best player in this game until Drake Maye starts for 2 more weeks, and then Drake Maye will be the best player in the NFL. But he's the best player in this game right now, CJ Stroud. They have the best offense in this game. And how does our defense step up to the task? Can Keon White get back to his ways, getting some pressures? Can Josh Uche get back there? Can we bring some pressures, with Kyle Duggar? I know someone was talking about how Kyle Duggar is going to be a big part. We'll see. I mean, we'll see if how the Patriots do things and how they disguise coverages, how they disguise blitzes, who they bring, how they get creative, because you can't just sit back on CJ Stroud and say, let's play cover 2 or cover 4 or man coverage, right? Every play, you got to do different looks. You got to throw them off, make it a little bit confusing for him, and things like that. And then also Joe Mixon's back, right? He started practicing. He's back. And so their run game will get a little added boost with that. But I think that our rush defense will be up for the task, and he is still kind of hobbled on that ankle injury. So hopefully that slows him down a little bit. But yeah, he is, that is how I see the defense, kind of putting their stamp on this game, is getting some pressure on CJ Stroud, because if you don't, he's probably going to have his way and it's not going to be the outcome we want for the Patriots.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like the Texans running game goes, we're like, the NFL hasn't really seen Joe Mixon in that running, like, what's the word? I just
that scheme or that offense?
Just like that offensive scheme, just because like they had the first 2 games. He, like you said, he was the leading rusher in the NFL, and then he was out. So it's like no one really knows what more they can do with that scheme. So it'll be interesting. I mean, Devon Gotcha's quietly had a really, really good season. We'll see if maybe he can be a factor in that, stop him. Obviously, it's first game back from injury for Joe Mixon, so that could be a factor in things if he doesn't have a good game. Hopefully, they can negate some part of the Texans' offense because it can't be the Texans are running the ball down the Patriots' throats or they're throwing the ball down the field and it's just constant, or not even constant, lack of constant pressure for CJ on CJ Stroud. So we'll see. They need to stop something because, like you said, they're on the field a lot. Hopefully, Drake May can stop that, but they've been on the field a lot, and they just can't let these long drives develop when the other opposing team has almost double the amount of offensive plays that the Patriots do every single week.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And kind of touching on just the points aspect, Jace, that you mentioned, trying to see if we can get 30 points. Getting 20 first would be a good start, I think. But
come on.
Just the Bears, just to talk about another quarterback. I know the situation is different. They have a trio of spectacular receivers, so it's a little bit different. But first couple games, they start out a little slow, and the Bears now have scored 35 or more points in consecutive games for the first time in over a decade. So that's kind of the things that you want to hopefully see is maybe we're not at that 35-point threshold, but maybe we're getting to 25 in a couple weeks. And if this team can put up mid to high 20s on a weekly basis, it gives us a lot better chance to win with this defense. But when you're putting up 15 points, 10 points, 3 points, like you're just not going to win many football games. So that's the main thing I want to see is just hopefully it's not going to be spectacular right off the start. Maybe it will be, but a lot of these rookies have struggled for the first couple games and then kind of picked it up from there. So hopefully we see progress with May and see him get more and more comfortable, stay healthy, and kind of start to figure out some defenses and as the season progresses.
For sure. So let's wrap up here and let's give our stat line for Drake Maye. What do we each think he's going to throw for passing touchdowns? And then we'll give a score prediction for the game. So we'll start with you, Carlos. Let's start with just Drake Maye. What do you think his stat line is going to be?
It's tough. Earlier on in the week when I had Alex Barth on my podcast, I told him about about a 50% passing percentage would make sense. So let's say 14 for 30. I hope that it's over 200 yards. I won't give a specific number. I'll just say over 200 yards. I need to see a Patriots quarterback throw for over 200 yards this season. It's getting boring watching the offense being so stale.
130, 170. It's
exactly. So I'll go with about 14 for 30. Over 200 yards, and I'll say 1 touchdown, 1 pick.
Okay.
That was pretty close to exactly what I was thinking. I was going to say 215 yards, about 55% completion percentage, and then maybe 1 passing, 1 rushing touchdown and a pick. It's something like that. But I don't know. Just it feels so weird saying that we're going to get 2 touchdowns from our quarterback in a game like that. That feels absurd for some reason to say, but maybe they get his legs involved in the red zone.
You took my pick for a rushing touchdown, Cole. That's kind of messed up. That's why I shouldn't go last. But anyways, I'll give you guys first. I'll give you guys an unsettling stat that concerns me a little. Houston is giving up the 3rd least amount passing yards per game. They're giving up 154 passing yards per game this season through 5 games. So
Jacoby wouldn't have even got 100 then. It would have
Jacoby
been
maybe would have got 54. Yeah, 94. Yeah, that's about good. So I'm going to say he's going to get, without Ramondre, I don't know how much we're going to pass the ball or
run the
ball.
Keep in mind, you said he's the best quarterback in the league by next week.
No, I said in 3 weeks, he's going to be the best quarterback in the league, right?
Okay. Behind Jaden Daniels, all right?
No, Jaden Daniels sucks.
Oh, okay.
If we had Cliff Kingsbury, Drake Maye would do the same thing.
Anyways, go ahead.
I'm going to say he's going to throw for 175, 1 touchdown rushing, no passing touchdowns. He's probably going to add another 50 or 60 on the ground. So over 2, I'll say 200 total yards with 1 touchdown on the ground. This is a tough defense. They got corners everywhere. I know Kamari Laster was a inactive guy that they just said, but Derek Stingley, they got some dudes at the cornerback and safety position that fly around the ball. And D'Amico Ryans is a really good coach, defensive-minded coach, and that one would concern me a little bit with this pass rush. So let's go with some score predictions. We'll start with you, Cole. Give us your score predictions for this game.
24-17.
Wow.
Houston.
Okay. Carlos?
Before I give my prediction, I wanted to ask. I was gonna give another prediction for his stat line. What
Okay.
if it was about 29 for 39 for 281 yards and a touchdown? Would you guys be happy with that?
Yes. Are you a fortune teller and you're telling us that that's what's going to happen?
No, I'm actually just telling you Mac Jones' his rookie debut.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I'm just saying, like, if Drake Maye does that, I'm pretty sure everyone's gonna say he's the reincarnation of Tom Brady. Hopefully, I'm not saying it's a bad thing for that to happen, but
I would be very happy with that.
As long as Drake May's first pass doesn't go backwards, we'll be happy, because I remember seeing that live. Mac's first play, I was like, "Oh my God, what are we doing? What did we do?"
Hey, how over or under 4.5 plays before Drake Maye's first actual pass attempt? Like, do you think Alex Van Pelt's just going to come out and run it the first like 5 plays of the game and be like, we're not going to let Drake Maye? Like, how limited is this offense going to be? Is Alex Van Pelt going to restrict him, or do you think it's like, hey, you're the guy, let's go, like we're rolling?
Honestly, I'd go with the under, just because when they put him in against the Jets, I think he ran like two straight run plays, and then he finally threw one. So especially against the Jets, just throwing him in last minute, they ended up throwing the ball. So I would give it the under. Yeah, I don't think if they restrict him and they don't let him like be in shotgun or
Then what's the
take
point?
a couple shots down the field. Exactly. It's like, why even bench Jacoby Brissett if you're not even going to change the offense?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping for too.
I'm gonna say
do the same thing.
I'm gonna say first 3 plays, 5 wide. Fuck, just
Empty.
they're empty. Yeah, they're gonna let him sling it.
They need to call up his coach at North Carolina, Phil Longo, and they need to just say, hey, give us your playbook. And because Drake Maye was never under center, he was just in the shotgun. They would do 5 wide. Let's just do their first 15 plays that are scripted need to just be 5 wide from North Carolina, and let him eat out there.
Let him cook out there.
Except the offensive line, they just probably bring 6 guys every time and make him throw it quick because they know that we can't block it. They're like, we're not scared of their receiver. So it might not work at this level.
Wow.
For him.
Edward is not confident in this game. 5 sacks, 5 picks. Wow.
Edward's always negative, though. Like,
that's brutal.
5 sacks is generous, to be honest. I thought Edward would take more.
Yeah, 8 sacks, 1 pick.
Edward's always negative in here. So go ahead.
Let me give my score prediction because I threw us off the rails. But I'll go with honestly, I'm gonna go with like 32-17. I think Houston still wins it, but I do think that the Patriots are gonna score some touchdowns. It's just obviously the Texans are too good. So I'll go with 32-17.
Yeah, I was going to go right in that range and go like 28-14. I mean, could easily be, a couple more field goals or something. So like 34-14, somewhere in that range. I agree with Carlos. I don't know, man. If Drake Maye were to come out and throw for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns and they were to have score over like 24 points, I'd be like, hey, that's a very successful start for Drake Maye. But this is a tough matchup. I think next week against Jacksonville is going to be really, really good for the Patriots. They do stink. They're getting smoked by the Bears right now. So maybe that's kind of the game there, right? He's probably going to have, I'm not saying he's going to be horrible today, but it's going to be a rough one today. If he comes out and looks like rookie CJ Stroud, then that's going to be really impressive. We're going to be like on our knees.
This offense?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's going to be telling. And then, next week he'll go back, he'll have time to do the corrections. Then he'll go play a pretty bad Jacksonville team. And hopefully he can rebound there. So I'm just excited though. I mean, I'm giddy to be a Patriots fan again because it's fun to watch Drake Maye and hear that he's going back out there. He's trying out with the offense, and this is his time to run the show. So I'm freaking excited for today. It's in less than an hour. We got 49 minutes, and we'll be watching Drake Maye play football for the real football.
Gotta watch the pregame stuff.
Already missing the pregame.
Cole's watching the pregame, man. That's crazy.
Gotta tune in for those warm-ups,
Yeah. So again, guys, if you guys have joined late or you haven't heard, we are doing a Drake Maye jersey giveaway. All you have to do is click the link either in this YouTube description or we're going to share it on our socials. I'll get it to Carlos. He can tweet it out and then we'll put it on our Instagram. It's just a Google form. You have to fill out 3 different things and you have to guess how many touchdowns Drake Maye will throw for next week against the Jaguars If you guess correctly, you'll be entered in to win a Drake Maye Jersey giveaway. So, guys, it's his time to shine. Get his jersey now while you can. Be repping the quarterback of the future for the Patriots. So pretty exciting. If you guys have any questions, you can always just DM us. Or if the link isn't working, it should be working now. Carlos said it was. So hopefully, looks like I'm getting a couple responses. So that should be good. So make sure you guys do that, enter that, and then we'll be live again next week after the Jaguars game to recap it and to do that giveaway and stuff. But anything else, guys, before we officially send it off and get to watch Drake Maye play some real football?
May Day. That's it.
It's May Day.
Finally.
It's May Day. So
It
I
sure
saw
is.
someone said something that was hopefully it's a amazing day and had like MAYE in parentheses and stuff. So hopefully it's an amazing day with Drake Maye out there.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be exciting. At least you're gonna be on the edge of your seat when the offense is on the field for the first time in 17 years. So that'll be good.
For sure. Well, guys, we appreciate it. Again, if you guys want to enter in the Drake Maye Jersey giveaway, of course, always subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow Carlos on Twitter. He has the best up-to-date information. You'll probably see when Drake Maye throws his first touchdown on the first drive, in less than 2 seconds, it'll be up on Carlos's Twitter somehow.
15 seconds before he throws it, Carlos is going to have it posted on there.
So make sure you guys follow Carlos on Twitter. He'll have all that stuff. And then follow us over on Instagram and stuff. So appreciate all the support. And until next time, we will talk to you guys later.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Patriots Drive podcast. Follow us on social media to stay up to date with all things New England Patriots. Make sure you tune in to the next episode and check out patriotsdrive.com for more great content.
We're on to Cincinnati.